another live training. Thank you for being with me today. Today, we're going to talk about a couple of key skills that you can use today to help level up your career and keep you prominent within the industry and in demand. I'm just going to do a little bit of housekeeping, let you know that I am going live right now. So if you have any questions, now would be the time to ask because I will answer them live and get as many of them as possible and try to help you guys. All right. So today we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and of course you can join the Zoom call and see me live there as well. So if you have any questions, I'm going to be checking that as well. Speaking of which, so today, first let me introduce myself. For those of you who don't know, my name is Edison Abelard. I am the co-founder of DigiSpire Group, and we help organizations build products and services to help meet business objectives. Right, so that can be online, AR, VR, enterprise applications, as well as strategy and emerging technology. Right. I'm also the host of the Stack Bytes podcast. You can check that out on iTunes as well as Spotify. And there is where I talk a lot more about what does it take to be a CTO and a lead developer, everything from trainings to workshops and leadership, emerging technology, and everything that surrounds strategy of technology, right? There's a lot of things going on in tech, and sometimes you just need somebody to just distill it for you. And that's what I do, right? Stack Bytes podcast. You can also find it on edisonabelard.com/podcast. Cool. So I got some people trickling in. Just gonna check all the platforms. It's always fun when you uh, streaming to all these platforms. You end up finding, some people like to be on one platform than the other, although you know them on multiple platforms. And some people just really like to stick with one. So I want to make sure that everyone is where they are comfortable. Cool. Awesome. I think it's time. Let's get to it. All right. So the first topic is well, what we're talking about today is being the solution before the problem, right? What does that mean? Well, if you wait until a problem arises to be the answer, you're already far behind the game, right? You want to be a person that is capable of almost being, having foresight and almost looking like you're like cruising and you're floating through a lot of the issues and problems. Uh, you want to be able to kind of foresee them ahead of time so that you can be a solution. You could be the go-to person, right? That's going to keep you in demand. It's going to keep you in high regards and high respect within your team and your organization, as well as your peers. Knowing just a little bit more or just having just a little insight will help you also grow personally. So it works all across the board. The first part of that is going to be a team player, right? Before you can find a problem, before you can solve for anything, you have to be a team player, because being a team player is how you get the secret information, right? That's this, like, literally by being a team player, you will get all of the secret information before anyone knows. It's crazy. Literally, you can be talking to somebody and not know that the organization is going to be shifting a certain way, or just have a little bit of insight into how a manager somebody's thinking. When you're a team player, you make friends in the organization. You build strong quality relationships. They're just going to talk about this stuff. They're going to let you know, hey, this is where we are, and it's not a tool that to be used as a bargaining chip. We're not about that. All right. We're really about building quality relationships. And in building that quality relationship, you will gain access to information, right? Because it is a relationship, right? You share mutual information with each other. So if, for example, there's a pitch coming up, and the organization is trying to pitch for a certain enterprise application, and they're leaning towards bringing in machine learning, and you know that you're using AWS Stack. So this might be your opportunity to say, hey, if we get that pitch, we don't have anyone here who actually knows machine learning. Maybe I could be that person. So let me start going and learning a little bit about machine learning, right? That's the kind of insight that will help you move your career forward while also building strong relationships. Because remember, getting that insight means having strong, genuine, authentic relationships. Cool. The next thing, this is a really important one. I'm gonna sip before this one. And it's know your organization's KPIs, right? KPIs, key performance indicators, right? Those KPIs are what drive every single organization, right? Every organization has these goals that they're trying to reach and that they spend 3 to 6 months trying to walk in that direction, run in that direction, crawl in that direction. Every decision that's made comes back to, does it fit our KPI? If it doesn't, then we don't use it. We don't do it. All right. Knowing your organization's KPIs will give you insights to where they're going. So if your organization's key performance indicator is being able to sell a certain amount of, let's say, AR products or enterprise subscriptions, right? The goal is to sell X amount of subscriptions. Everything that they do is going to go around, how do we reach that goal? Because that's going to tell us if we're reaching our milestones, right? It's a key performance indicator. It's telling us that we're doing what we're supposed to do. So from a marketing standpoint, that might mean doubling down on Facebook ads, right? They might be doubling down on Facebook ads and driving traffic to blog posts. Well, one thing that you can do, knowing that this is the organization's KPI, is maybe you offer to do blog posts on a particular subject. Maybe you create the lead magnets and you go to them and say, hey, I know we're trying to drive sales using XYZ. Here's an article that I wrote that I think would be great for the blog and could potentially be used as a lead magnet, right? When you go to them with something like that, it's going to be like, wow, you're totally right. Let's do it, right? And if they say no, hey, guess what? You're showing initiative. No might be a jarring, you know, word or a jarring action phrase for some people, but let's not make it be one for you. No just means just not right now. It could just be the wrong timing, or it could just be they have information that is leading them towards another direction. But still, it shows massive initiation. It shows initiative, right? You initiated the conversation to create a lead magnet. So now in the back of their minds, they're going to be like, man, you put up a lead magnet for us. I appreciate that, right? That's going to give you the ability to be that solution before the problem, right? They're trying to get those KPIs running, right? They want to reach those goals. They want to be able to get those sales. Now you were just a solution before they had a problem, before they can't reach the numbers, before they're running, rampant, trying to figure out what can we change to reach our goals. You were the solution. They will remember that. You can come back with another lead magnet for them. You can come back with a video, maybe you like to be on camera, right? They'll remember this, and this will give you that power. They'll give you that expertise and help you stay in front of the crowd as well as be top of mind. And that's going to be key to being the solution before the problem. All right, I'm gonna check some questions, see where we're at in the community. It's always nice when you have all of these going on at once. Like I said, some people just prefer to be on different platforms. I want to make sure that I catch everyone where they're comfortable. Mm-hmm. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about, it's also a very important one, very, very important, and it's learning how to learn. All right. Let that one sink in. Learning how to learn. we all have 24 hours in a day, right? And most people, at least here in America, the average time spent actually growing and doing self-help, or even going further than that, and trying to read something that's in your industry, the number is, on average, most Americans read one book a year. Just one book. Now we're talking about a lot of people. The average is just one book. You read two books, you're already above the average, right? But that's not enough, right? We want to go beyond just reading and learning for the sake of learning, because that's not going to help you, right? We want to actually take it up a notch and really learn with a purpose. Because when you do that, is when you can really level yourself up and become a solution, right? If you're just going out and you're just learning and learning everything that comes along, there isn't a path, there isn't a roadmap, there isn't any kind of guidance. You're just going to start spaghetti learning, and then you'll have all this information over here, over here, over here, over here, and there won't be anything that strings them together, right? You want to make sure that no matter how far apart your industry or your reading sources are, that they come back and have some kind of tangible benefit. Now that benefit could just be simply reading for enjoyment. That's totally cool, because you know what? That gets your brain moving, gets your mind working, and it is enjoyable, right? If you're reading because you enjoy something, let's say you're a Harry Potter fan or you're a Zelda fan, right? You're reading something, it could be a comic book, it can be a graphic novel, it could be anything. Being that you're enjoying it, your body is going to relax. It's going to give you the state of mind you need to grow, right? You need a period of rest, and that relaxation and that enjoyment is just that. So I am 110% for doing what makes you happy. Educating yourself on topics that are specific to your industry. For me, I love reading about all the newest things that are going on in technology. I love learning about, emerging tech. That's my specialty, is in emerging tech. And I'm reading all types of sources. A lot of the times, because of talking about it, reading about it, I get a lot of individuals and organizations that have come to me before information goes out, and that's great, because then I get to alpha and beta test certain technologies, and so I'm way ahead, and that's my genius zone. That's why I'm excited. I'm really excited about that, and so I like to do that, and it has a tangible benefit. It has a line for me. See, I have a little box, right? And that's the ideas that I have on where technology is going. But when I open up that box, right, and I learn a little bit about machine learning, like, oh, okay. And I learn a little bit about a marketing strategy. That's really good. All right, we're getting somewhere. Now, when a client is talking about, well, we want to leverage XYZ, but we just don't have the manpower to get to it, or we want to really hone down our marketing message, I can speak with our strategist. And I can be like, guess what? We can leverage ML to personalize a marketing message and hone down based off of the user's current patterns. And then that can drop down our rate of failure and increase our success rate, because now we're being able to use machine learning to see what patterns that our users, our clients' users are exhibiting, as well as comparing that to other users. And then we'll be able to predict with a higher rate of accuracy what information, products, or services they're looking for. You see that? By being able to learn with a purpose, right? Knowing that I'm stringing my machine learning and I'm stringing some real world problems our clients are having, I can string that knowledge together and get a trajectory, right? And that angle can now be what we use to help serve our clients. Same thing you could do, right? When your organization is pivoting in a direction, or you know what their KPIs are, when you're learning information, you can learn with a purpose, with a driven goal, and that will keep you ahead of the curve. All right. You want to know where you're going. You don't want to just aimlessly learn information. If you are a marketing genius, okay, and you're going out and you're learning how to do CSS, that actually has a lot of benefit to it because there's a lot of marketing platforms that allow you to customize your email templates or whatever marketing material you're using. So knowing CSS and knowing a little bit about front end technology is a benefit, right? It may seem a little far fetched, but it might be able to be that one factor that will keep you from having really poor looking emails, right? Using the wrong color combinations or not knowing what a hexadecimal is, right? Where to grab it and how to use it. That's something that you can use. Now, if you're a marketing expert and you're deciding today that you're going to start learning about marine life and you have nothing, it's not something you enjoy, you just see it and you want to learn about it, you're really going to be wasting your time because it's not going to affect your current objectives and it's not going to meet your organization's KPIs and it's definitely not going to make you be a solution to a problem before it arises. All right. So we covered a lot. I want to make sure I recap. We have a few questions. I'm going to get to some of those as well. So first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we are a team player and that we build our relationships. Networking and building quality relationships will get you insight information. It'll get you friends. It'll get you friends in high places and low places, middle grounds. Everybody can be a help. All right. We also talked about key performance indicators. By knowing your organization's KPIs, you will be able to stand out. And more importantly, you'll be able to then leverage that information to set goals and expectations for where you want to be in an organization and how you can be a solution to a unknown problem because you have insights into where they want to be, right? You know the destination. Help them get there, right? And then learning how to learn, right? Don't go everywhere. Don't learn everything. Don't do everything at once. I had a coach tell me one time, if you work on your weaknesses, you're going to have a lot of very strong weaknesses. If you work on your weaknesses, you're going to have a lot of very strong weaknesses, right? Play to your strength. Play to what you need to learn, right? And limit where you learn from, limit your sources because people learn differently, people teach differently. Right? Find what works for you. When you find it, stick with it, right? Keep that range really small. Then once you get to that point, you'll be able to be that solution. You'll be able to have a roadmap because the KPIs lead you to the roadmap. Building and networking and having great relationships will get you inside information. Once again, strategizing and helping you lay down a foundation to move you forward. And then, of course, learning how to learn will keep you focused and in control and keep you excited about being a solution driven person in your organization. All right. Let's get to these questions. Ask away. I'm going to be here for a little bit. Gotta get some water. All right, we're going to check all these platforms, see what we got here. All right. First question: how does this apply to being a developer? Sure. Earlier I mentioned machine learning, right? There are other things that you can do as well. I am really big into Unity 3D game development. I talk about it all the time. That's what pushed me into the industry. It's what drives me, user engagement, and I love the behavioral psychology of it all. Right? That's my thing. So for me, knowing my our organization's personal KPIs as well as my personal KPIs, right? Because KPIs don't have to be just for a business; it can be for individuals as well. Knowing that when I learn something or when I do something, I want to keep it around that sphere of my KPI interests, right? So if I'm going to be learning about games and I know that I want to, later on be able to maybe pitch it as a service to a client and be like, hey, here's some of the stuff that we've done, right? I can say to myself that part of game development is knowing what's going on. There's a new wave that's going to be pushing because Unity is coming back to HTML5 with a editor and a specific tool called Project Tiny, right? I know about it. I'm beta testing it right now. I've been beta testing it for over a year. So I know where it's at, I know where it's not, and I know where a lot about where it's going. And that to me is a way that I can now say that Project Tiny is going to allow for, and this is a lot of insight. This is going a little deeper than, than just about being a solution. But it is. It's telling you how to be a solution to a problem that doesn't exist yet, right? Uh, because of advert games and the ability to quickly get games or high interactive experiences into a mobile user's hands, by using Project Tiny, we can build Facebook ads, we can build other platforms that can run off of interactivity using this new Project Tiny, right? When it gets there, though. So in the meantime, I'm still beta testing the material. I'm still using it now. I won't front to you, right? It's been rocky. It's been very rocky, but that's part of being an early adopter, right? When I advise CTOs, when it's time, when I advise some of the CTOs I work with, when I advise the leads, it's going to be, all right, here's a technology stack. Here's how we can combine it. Here's how you can leverage X, Y, and Z to get A, B, C results, right? So that's how it can pertain to you as a developer. Knowing where technology is, knowing who you are, where your organization is, you will be able to focus your learning, focus your energy on some technologies that have a potential for high growth. Now, granted, right, we've had a ton of Flash potential replacements. Recently, Corona, the game development engine, went sideways and then it went upside down, right? And it's been around for a while, right? You don't know which energies are going to stay within our industry, but as an early adopter, being part of this idea of being a solution before the problem, you really have to dig in, put your heels down, try something, and if it doesn't work, pivot, right? Hey, what's going on? So it's important that when you do have opportunities to look at new technology, like having workshops. Well, I should probably tell you what the question is. I just glanced at it right quick. Where do you learn more information, right? And how do you stay on top of your game? So by having your ears and eyes open to all types of possibilities is the best thing I can tell you, right? Industry events are probably your number one source, right? Industry events, meetups, in-person activities where you'll get the most information, right? Which is why I tell you I'm live now. Ask the questions, all right? I'm here to help you out and to deliver as much value as I can in this time frame, right? Uh, by going to these industry events, you'll have the opportunity to learn new things. You'll meet new people, get new ideas, right? Sometimes you can be in a zone where you're focused so much that you don't know what's going on in the industry, and it's okay. It happens all the time. It's just you have to sometimes really focus on what you're doing. You don't have the time and the effort to be able to split brain and go to multiple different avenues. And so you focus and then you come back. And industry events are amazing for this. All right. So that's going to be my place, industry events. Books are so outdated. It's amazing that they still are being pushed in the way they're being pushed. Right. By the time a book goes to print, I mean, I'm talking print books, it's already outdated. Ebooks, it depends. If you're reading a book that's about 50 to 150 pages, you have a really high chance of that have been worked on in the last 3 months, right? Not too bad. Anything above that, look, our industry moves fast. You want to be careful. Some things are evergreen and they will always be, truth through and through. But you really want to get faster knowledge bases, all right? And you get that by being in person. Cool. Hey, want to say what's up to everybody who's joining live. I appreciate y'all. If you're getting some value out of this, give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Just one more platform to check. how we're doing out here. Like I said, it's always awesome to be in multiple areas. I want to make sure that I get to everyone where they're the most comfortable. And that means being on all these platforms. So I will check everywhere and make sure we're all good. Cool. Well, looks like we don't have any more questions. So I'm going to end with this. Your mindset, key. Your relationships, key. Your personal and professional development, key. It's important that you take care of all of these things, right? Every single one of them will lead you towards growth and prosperity. If you want to get that job that you've always been waiting for, if you want to to get that home, you want to reach those goals, you want to be able to afford certain devices and subscriptions, be able to do things and go on vacations, right? You want to make sure you take care of those three things. Take care of yourself, your mindset, and your professional and personal growth. You do that, everything becomes possible, right? You put in the hard work, you put in the effort, eventually you will get there. I've always heard this, and it's something that I definitely stand by. Winners are always the one that get up just one more time, just one more, right? Nothing fancy, no, no Gatorades, no, you just need to get up one more time, right? Do one more thing, learn a little bit more, push yourself, and to get outside of your comfort zone, right? Go to events, meet people, make relationships, because those are the things that last for decades. And those are the ways that you'll be able to later on, when you really need help, you need to call somebody up and be like, hey, like I got something about to happen right now. Can you help me? You know, or if it's just you calling up somebody and say, hey, what's going on? Right? Just building relationships and building yourself, right? That's the key for real success and growth. All right. So this is day number 3, right, of our 5-day live training. So we're going to do another one tomorrow. And I hope you guys can join me then as well. I appreciate everyone that's joined and on all the platforms, YouTube, Facebook, uh, not on Twitter yet. Twitter happens too fast. I feel like sometimes you got too much of that scrolling business. But we are on Zoom, which I gotta make sure I check that too. Make sure that one is good. Cool. So we're on all the platforms, and I hope that you enjoyed this. You got a lot of value out of it. And if you're watching this after the fact, make sure you leave a comment. I'll come back and definitely answer as many of the comments as I can in the timely matter. And uh, good luck. And let's enjoy the weekend. Have some fun. Be back for some more value. And I hope I was able to give you some value. All right, this is Edison Abelard. Once again, you can find me at edisonabelard.com. You can check out the Stack Bites podcast for more information. And you can find me on all platforms, Edison Abelard or E Abelard. That's Medium. You can go to the website. You can check out DigiSpire Group. You can find me all over the web. All right. If you have any questions, I am always here to deliver and help you out. That's my goal. So if you have questions, please ask. All right. If you have technical questions, that's coming up next. All right. I'm going to be focusing on various technologies. You've heard me talk about games. You've heard me talk about uh, a lot about growth and development. So we're going to keep going with that and technology. All right. We're going to keep growing because it requires a lot more than just the simple, right? What happens when you become the smartest person in the room? And what happens when you're no longer the smartest person in the room? Because we all get to that point where everybody in the room is really smart. How do you differentiate yourself? And that's what I want to help you do. I want to help you be a differentiating factor for yourself and your organization. Edison Abelard. That's right. I'm out.